Well, my dad, he left when I was 11. I didn't see much of him until later on down the line, 18, 20. My dad left. I think that was a big part of that, you know. I got that rage, that fury. Didn't get much raising there to begin with, so then at that point I'm kind of figuring it out on my own, and I'm not taking any direction from anybody. After a while though, probably by 20, 22, 25, it was hate. Hate for what it is was my enemy, that I made my enemy, you know. Everything is backwards, the world, everything gets twisted, you know what I'm saying? I would say my first encounter with God was 18. I was homeless. I was walking around the streets, and you know, something you learn on the streets, you especially in the winter, you walk all night. You walk all night, you'll freeze to death if you don't. I'll never forget this quote. It was, you know, if anyone's out there, if anyone can hear me, I'm hungry and I need help. Anyway, I was at a corner house. Probably 20 feet from that corner, I found a $10 bill laying on the ground. And it was in a neighborhood. There was no cars moving around. It was early Saturday morning. There was no reason why the $10 bill should have been sitting out there all night. Whoever put this out here, I don't know, but I'm gonna buy food with it because I told you I was hungry, and I won't buy cigarettes or anything else. I already knew what was down the path that I'm currently on. I want something different. I had already, a few years back, as to why I was on the run, I already decided I didn't want that. And I guess it was just an overwhelming desire to want to see what's behind the curtain, down a path I'd never been. My first day there on the restoration side for the interview, I come out of the office after Charlie and Cody kind of getting me shook up. I was in there crying. And, you know, Johnny Lewis, he came up and gave me a hug. Told me he loved me, and I looked around the room at all these guys in this classroom, and it's not something I seen physically, but they had something and I wanted it. And I guess I found what was behind the veil, behind the curtain, and I wanted it. So I got broke down pretty quick, about 10 days in, and I couldn't go to church service without crying. And we went to Franklin Graham concert, and that's when I accepted my gift from Christ. I accepted him as my Lord and my Savior, right? But that wasn't enough, and I kept reading this Bible. I hadn't read the Bible up until that point. I hadn't even touched it. And for, I think, 10 days I was here. And it was talking a lot of good stuff, but it was talking a lot of bad stuff too, about wicked, you know, the wicked people, my summary. And it was me, and I had to recognize who I was, who I refused to acknowledge before, you know, D. I had to learn about who D was before I could learn about who I was or who I could be with Christ, you know what I mean? I don't know, I kind of want to stay at the front desk for a little while. My short-term agenda at this point is I'm going to start school in January, just to find out what all my options are as far as a career after that. I don't know if I'll still be at the front desk, but even if I am, I do that full-time, maybe part-time. What is love? You know, we talked about this, me and a few of the guys the other day, a few weeks ago. The way I worded it to them doesn't really matter, but my answer to that would be, let me show you. I can't tell you, I can show you with my actions. I can show you what God's love looks like expressed through me. Can't tell you though. Come by the shelter, I'll show you what it's all about. Sometimes that looks like a friendly smile, a hug, an invitation inside. Love and happiness, like, every life has purpose, right? I found it. I found it.